Well, look, man, we've been all over the place. Candice, are you comfortable revisiting blackface?
Yeah, sure.
I know you want to talk about it, and I want you to lead this, and then we're gonna pivot into the brown skin girl. I mean, excuse me, the brown eyed girl. Sorry, I didn't read my notes right. Sorry.
You read them, right?
No,
Then
you
your
read
mind,
them.
then your mind just went back and changed the caption.
You read them. Chew, you're making me hungry.
I'm sorry. I'm hungry. I had to eat. My bad.
I'm gonna have to grab something after. Okay, in a second. Okay, let's talk about the blackface. So last time we were discussing blackfishing, which, if you don't know, is this idea of beauty influencers, particularly like on YouTube and Instagram, wearing especially bronzed makeup, so that they give a look that's a little bit more, that's a little warmer on the skin tone, and they magically end up looking Hispanic or black some sort of way. Um,
They look
and
racial neutral.
huh?
Racial neutral.
Yeah, or whatever that is. So I don't even know if I think that's real. So anyway, they put on a face, which is not the same color as the face that they was born with, um, or even woke up with that morning. And we were talking about that, and I said, Adam was basically saying, hey, I feel like it's basically a form of flattery for people to, do this sort of thing. And I said that for me, it was hard to look at it as flattery because it really reminded me of blackface in the way that, people were putting on a face for entertainment purposes. White people put on a face that looked black for entertainment purposes, but weren't really trying to assume any of the other responsibility of being black. They just wanted to take the good parts of it, and kind of beef themselves up. Well, I learned in one of my seminary sort of prep classes, um, that was talking about minstrel shows and blackface, that blackface actually started out as something that black people did for the entertainment of black people on plantations to kind of make light of slavery. So it was originally supposed to be in the same spirit as what Adam was talking about earlier, with jokes and comedians and making joy out of, something that we can all relate to, and it's kind of touchy and tough, but we're going to talk about it, and survive through it by laughing at it. And so black people were doing blackface to entertain fellow slaves. Or even if the person was free and the slaves still slave, like it was a black to black thing, like, y'all, we gonna be all right, let's just, laugh at ourselves and our disposition. But even that maybe was one of the first things that was hijacked from black people, from now black Americans by white Americans,
I thought after they were hijacked.
after already, right? After they themselves were hijacked, then they came up with a form of entertainment to make their situation better. And it turned out that, minstrel shows, the concept of minstrel shows is what the slave reenactments were minstrel shows to start with. The minstrel shows were taken, and the whole styling of them was taken. Sounds familiar? And white people started doing it, and only thing we're missing was the look, so they just put the face on.
So what you're telling me is black people came up with a great form of entertainment, then white people took it and monetized it.
Yes. I mean, took it outright, insofar as to take the face off of black people. I'm taking everything you have, your talent, your ideas, and your look, and I'm going to make money from it. And you will then not you either won't be able to make money off of it, or you'll be effectively making fun of yourself if you're a black person, if you then do that act on top of a white person doing the act, because you're definitely not going to make as much money. Like, you're not going to get as much.
back to what I used to say. Everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be a nigga.
Well, yeah, and D is on here. What up, too? So D and I were talking about this. Yeah, everybody wants to be black. Nobody wants to be a nigga at all. D and I were talking about
Or a joker, as you would say.
How what?
A joker.
I forgot about the Joker. Can you explain the Joker to people, please?
I mean, so I'm in this I'm trying to be in this transition. You know, I have my days that
We applaud you.
I'm trying to remove that word from my vocabulary. So a lot of times, Joker is more fitting than nigga. But sometimes it ain't. Sometimes, you know, he's still working on it. Sometimes it just comes out.
Let him use you. Let him work in you. You know,
Right.
on the inside.
But that's crazy. Like, I think I was happy you shared that with us and that learning occurred because, like, it's like, damn. So blackface wasn't even bad until they took it and fucked it up.
Right. Because even in this class that I was in, the context was Black joy as a form of defiance or resistance. And we also talked about how Black people, even today, Wayne has a lot to say about kind of like the way Southern people talk sometimes. Shout out to Virginia seceding. But
Virginia.
He talks a lot about how we as Southern Black people talk sometimes. Like, oh Lord, what was that word? But even that we discussed in this class is a form of like defiance and resistance. Like, I can conform to your little stupid language, but I won't. I'll say things the way I want to. If I want to say ain't instead of are not, then I'll do that just because I feel like it. I'll make my whole own language. And Black people do that all the time. Like, we make up whole words. We get on entire waves and just disregard English entirely. So,
you know, a lot of
white people take that too. Like, we do like specific little dances, and we got TikTok dances, and then all of a sudden it becomes a white thing. Like, it's historical.
Well, like they took the Millie Rock and threw it on Fortnite.
Right.
There was a couple of dances they did that to on Fortnite.
Yeah, and the Black Boy.
Yeah.
I was Black Boy yesterday with this little kid. He came to a little party, swagged up, and he was dancing. He started Black Boy. I said, "I got you, young fella." but yeah, man, I just think.
Mask at that party.
So I think the important, yeah, you most definitely have my mask on.
Amen.
Cause you know it's California, and you know we got a $100 fine if you ain't got your mask on. Ain't finding me.
In California.
Yeah, you in Georgia. You know Kemp don't believe in COVID.
Reckless.
But you know it just gets me to we have to own our own shit now. Like back then it's different, but now when we're in these situations as content creators, it becomes very important to own what you do. And if you're going to work with somebody, a major entity, you got to make sure you have ownership in that. Like you can't just sell your soul to them because at the end of the day, you end up working for them. You're creating authentic content for yourself, but it's another form of just blackface. You've taken some black content that is genuinely, authentically black, purposed it for the white man to come make a caricature of your own self.
Right.
A lot of times the people that's creating stuff, for one, when they come up with it, they don't understand. They don't know how it's gonna blow up, right? So, and then there's a lot of like younger people that don't have experience with any of that. So they doing this, they just being themselves.
Yeah.
This dance and they blow up. Somebody with the resources that knows how to monetize it. So it's really like it's not really that they did do it. They just didn't have the resources for it or understand, you know, how they could just like make money from it.
You know
like
what?
A business model for somebody to pick up and figure out how to advise these young persons.
You know,
we'll revisit
closure here.
Yeah,
I'm about to submit a demo tape to iHeart for their podcast tryouts they got going. I got to get that done by the end of the week.
To iHeart?
Huh?
You said to iHeart?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
word. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
they're doing like a podcast contest, and you pretty much gotta like give them shoot them links, shoot a couple videos explaining who you are and the point of your podcast and the goal of it, and then like the winner gets a funded podcast by iHeart. So like I'll be stupid not to submit it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because the other ideas I looked at to monetize it, it just wasn't. That's another conversation. But look, so